What is he? Where does he come from? He is OCP's newest soldier in their revolutionary crime management program. OCP spokesman claimed that the fearless machine has crooks on the run in Old Detroit. Today, kids at Lee Iacocca Elementary School got to meet in person what their parents only read about in comic books.
Robo, excuse me, Robo. Any special message for all the kids watching at home?
Stay out of trouble. Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
There's crime all over the city in apocalyptic Detroit. A cop, Alex Murphy, is set to take on the crime lord, dead or alive, causing the own cop's death on the job, but only to be resurrected as a human cyborg known as Robocop, cleaning up the streets from any dangers, but still wanting answers to who he was. Even though 99% of his body is owned by Omnicorp, does it mean he is a captive in his new life? Or is a man's will stronger than machine? Robocop is a science fiction action thriller released in 1987 that was nominated for Best Editing and Best Sound Mixing, and many other numerous awards. I can't be the only one. This scene scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, but it is by no means a kid's film. It is very mature and graphic, making it a favorite of anyone who grew up watching it. Robocop is known as a hero of its time and a classic of the 80s. It also spawned a cartoon TV series, comics, and sequels, which brings me to my next film. Robocop is back patrolling the streets in the sequel, Robocop 2, in 1990. With a bigger budget than the first had of $13 million, the sequel got an extra $1 million. Woohoo! With more pulse-pounding effects, action, and even comedy. It wasn't needed, and a good villain, Kane, that makes a good showdown at the end, but until then, I never got a sense that he was dangerous like the first. Clarence J. Boddicker is much more intimidating, which helped take the first movie to the next level. Robocop 2 is a good sequel, but not near as good as what we should have gotten. And as far as the henchmen, you've got prostitutes and a kid. That wasn't exactly a good match for Robocop. The first one is very interesting, that had a lot going for it even after its time, whereas the second fails in story. That's one of the important factors that separates it from being a sci-fi action to a sci-fi masterpiece. Nancy Allen as Alex Murphy's partner is given very little to do, which makes you wonder why she was even in it. But without the revenge plot of the first, the sequel didn't have a whole lot to tell, and Robocop having little to no connection to his opponent. Aside from the negatives, it has really good practical effects and great action sequences, which makes it still fun to watch, but the villains have no depth, which gives less impact to Robocop's mission. With also a very underwhelming ending, it's still worth having and watching from time to time, but in most cases sequels very rarely surpass the original. The man who became a cop, the cop who became a machine.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.